Once upon a time, in a small village deep in the heart of Nigeria, there lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was known throughout the village for her kind heart, her gentle spirit, and her unwavering faith in the spirits of her ancestors. One faithful day, as Amara was walking through the marketplace, she caught the eye of a handsome stranger. The man, whose name was Chidi, approached Amara and struck up a conversation. Amara was immediately captivated by Chidi's charm and good looks. Over the next few weeks, the two spent more and more time together, and it became clear that they had fallen deeply in love. One evening, Chidi approached Amara's father, as was the custom, and asked for Amara's hand in marriage. Amara's father, delighted to see his daughter so happy, readily agreed. The wedding was a joyous affair, with the entire village coming together to celebrate the union of Amara and Chidi. For the first few years of their marriage, Amara and Chidi lived a blissful life together. They built a small but cozy home on the outskirts of the village, and Amara soon became pregnant with their first child. The villagers marveled at the couple's happiness, and many believed that they were blessed by the spirits. As the years passed, Amara and Chidi's family grew. They had 3 beautiful children, 2 sons and a daughter, and Amara's heart was filled with love and contentment. Chidi continued to care for his wife, showering her with affection and ensuring that she and the children wanted for nothing. But unbeknownst to Amara, there was a dark secret lurking beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect life. One day, as Amara was tending to her garden, she noticed a strange mark on Chidi's neck. It was a small, circular scar that she had never seen before. Curious, she asked Chidi about it, but he quickly brushed it off, saying it was nothing to worry about. Over the next few days, Amara couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about Chidi. He seemed more distant, more withdrawn, and he often woke up in the middle of the night, his body covered in a cold sweat. Finally, one evening, Amara confronted Chidi. "Chidi, my love, what is troubling you?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. Chidi sighed deeply and took Amara's hands in his own. "My dear Amara," he said, his voice trembling, "I have not been entirely truthful with you." Amara's heart raced as Chidi continued. "You see, I am not who I appear to be. I am a dead man." Amara stared at Chidi in disbelief, her mind racing to comprehend what he was telling her. "A dead man?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. Chidi nodded solemnly. "Yes, my love. I died many years ago, but I was brought back to life by a powerful sorcerer. He gave me a second chance at life, but there was a price to pay." Amara felt her world crumbling around her. How could this be? How could she have been married to a dead man all this time and not known? "What price?" she asked, her voice trembling. "The sorcerer who revived me demanded that I marry and have children," Chidi explained. "He wanted to create a powerful bloodline that he could control. And so he led me to you, Amara, and endured that we would fall in love and marry." Amara felt a wave of nausea wash over her. All these years, she had been living a lie, her happiness built on a foundation of deception. "But our children," she whispered, her eyes filled with tears. "What will happen to them?" Chidi's face fell. "I am afraid the sorcerer will come for them," he said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "He wants to use them to further his own dark plans." Amara's heart sank. She had to protect her children no matter what. "What can we do?" she asked, her voice filled with determination. Chidi shook his head. "I am afraid there is nothing we can do," he said. "The sorcerer's power is too great, and he will stop at nothing to get what he wants." In the days that followed, Amara watched helplessly as her children were taken from her, one, by the sorcerer's dark minions. She begged and pleaded, but the sorcerer was relentless, and Chidi was powerless to stop him. As the days turned to weeks and weeks turned into months, Amara's heart grew heavier and heavier with grief. She had lost everything: children, her happiness. All she had left was Chidi, and even he was a shadow of the man she had once loved. One night, as Amara sat alone in their small home, Chidi came to her, his eyes filled with a newfound resolve. "Amara, my love," he said, his voice low and urgent. "I have a plan." Amara looked at him, her eyes filled with hope. "What is it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Chidi took a deep breath. "I have discovered a way to defeat the sorcerer and get our children back," he said. "But it will require a great sacrifice on my part." Amara felt her heart skip a beat. "Anything, Chidi," she said, her voice trembling. "I will do anything to get our children back." Over the next few days, Amara and Chidi worked tirelessly to put Chidi's plan into action. It was a risky and dangerous endeavor, but Amara was willing to do whatever it took to save her children. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. Amara stood by Chidi's side, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination, as he confronted the sorcerer. The battle that ensued was epic, with the sorcerer's dark magic pitted against Chidi's own supernatural powers. Amara watched in awe as the two forces clashed, the very air around them crackling with energy. Just when it seemed that the sorcerer was about to emerge victorious, Chidi made his move. With a final, desperate act of sacrifice, he managed to break the sorcerer's hold over their children, freeing them from his dark influence. But the price was high. As Amara watched in horror, Chidi's body began to crumble, his very essence being pulled back into the realm of dead. "Chidi!" Amara cried, rushing to his side. "No, please don't leave me!" Chidi looked up at her, his eyes filled with a bittersweet smile. "Amara, my love," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "You and our children are safe now. That is all that matters." Amara held Chidi close, her tears streaming down her face. "But I can't live without you," she sobbed. Chidi smiled and pressed a soft kiss to her forehead. "You can, Amara," he said. "You are the strongest, most courageous woman I have ever known, and our children will need that strength to face the challenges that lie ahead." Amara held Chidi tightly, her heart aching with the realization that this would be the last time she would ever see him. "I love you, Chidi," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "And I love you, Amara," Chidi replied, his voice fading. With those final words, Chidi's body dissolved into a swirling mist, and Amara was left alone, cradling the empty air where her beloved husband had once been. In the days and weeks that followed, Amara struggled to come to terms with the devastating loss of her husband. She was filled with a profound sense of grief and longing, and she found it difficult to even look at her children without being reminded of the sacrifices Chidi had made to save them. But Amara was a fighter, and she knew that she had to find the strength to move forward, not just for herself, but for her children as well. She knew that Chidi had given his life to protect them, and she was determined to honor his memory by ensuring that they were safe and cared for. As the years passed, Amara's children grew into strong, resilient young adults, and Amara couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and gratitude for the life that Chidi had given them. She knew that he would have been proud of them, and she was determined to honor his memory by living her life to the fullest and ensuring that her children always knew the depth of their father's love. And though the pain of Chidi's loss never fully healed, Amara found solace in the knowledge that he was still with her. She knew that as long as she kept his memory alive in her heart, a part of him would always be with her, guiding her through the challenges of life and giving her the strength to carry on. In the end, Amara's story was one of resilience, love, and the eternal power of the human spirit to overcome even the most devastating of losses. And though her journey was filled with heartbreak and sorrow, it was also a testament to the enduring strength of the human heart and the power of love to transcend even the greatest of obstacles. I believe you enjoyed the story. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and educative tales. Goodbye.